What's up, fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Ethan Wolt, coming at you live. I'm in HD, Jason. I don't know if you can tell.
I can see every pore in your body, or not your body, but your face.
Everything I've been trying to hide is now for the
No,
world
no
to see.
blackheads.
So Jason's got his camera coming soon. He's not supposed to know, but it's coming in probably what, like on the 24th or 25th, Jason?
Yeah, one of them days, but it's a secret. Don't tell.
Yeah. So today's episode, this is a fantasy footballing show. And today's episode is our weekend wrap up. It's it's the week 12 wrap up. So we're on to week 13, but we're wrapping up week 12. And
Wrap it up.
Jason,
Yes.
how can you tell these people how they can help this channel out?
Yeah. You guys could go ahead and subscribe, just like what my father did. And then 2 days ago, my mother did too. And you know what this means? I am loved. I am finally accepted amongst the Youth and Walt family table. I got both subscribers. Now, if I could just teach them how to like, that would be great.
Well,
My mom wanted to actually point it out that she has a YouTube account and she can subscribe. So thanks, Mom. Appreciate it.
There you go.
So if you guys want to be like my mommy, you can do the same thing. Subscribe, like, and leave comments. We need it all. We are now 16 subscribers from going live on YouTube. And that right now, that's the goal. Let's keep it up.
Right. Yeah. Like we want to go live together. Can't do it till there's 50 subscribers. So please help us out. That'd be great. We can drink on Fridays with you. That's our main goal.
Yeah.
So Jason, first game. Let me minimize this.
Let me go to my notes of success.
So we're going to start talking about the Bengals and the Titans. It was a good game. I mean, Titans have been playing some crazy defense. And from what I've been seeing, the Bengals have as well, like they're both like, cold weather, late in the year, turn it on type of teams. Were you looking for anything in particular, Jason?
Yeah, both these defenses have gotten better throughout the year. I remember in the early part of the year, both the defenses were giving up a lot of yards and points. They definitely improved on that. Going into this game, Mixon for the Bengals was out with a concussion. So I wanted to see, and I think on your waiver show, if I remember, you had Perrin as a waiver pickup, correct?
Yeah, Samaje Perine.
Perine.
And I said
Whatever.
he's not going to get many yards, but he's going to be catching a lot of passes.
So I wanted to see how this guy was going to do against the stingy run defense of the Titans. And then on the Titan side, I wanted to see Treylon Burks was going to have another big game like he did last week against the Packers. Dog. Did you just call me a dog? Dog. He had to go get his dog. So going into this, if I can ever say the name right, Samaje Perine. Samaje Perine. Samaje Perine. He's been one of those guys that I've actually have liked for quite a few years. I think Tyler, even when he first came into the NFL, you had an eye on him too. Obviously, he's someone to keep an eye on because, fun fact, Tyler, do you know who holds the record in college for the most rushing yards in one game?
Is that really him?
It's him with 427 yards.
Where did you find? Did you have to like Google this or something?
No, it was very recent. I had to Google the yards. I couldn't remember the yards, but I remember him having the record because I remember it was like a huge deal, and I remember seeing it. I was like, "Oh my god, that's so much yards!" And it was like 5 years ago.
I mean, he's a talented runner. I mean, for what he did, he outproduced Derrick Henry versus a similar defense.
Right. We've always liked him. He just kind of had like the bad end of the stick, and I think he could have a start for a team. I know he gave it a shot there for the Redskins for a while, didn't quite work. And this game he got 17 rushes, 58 yards, and a touchdown, which was huge. And then Tyler, you were right too. He got 4 receptions for 35 yards on 7 targets.
Yeah, the 7 targets was big.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of total yards, but he got that touchdown. and he got it from like 7 yards out, and that really saved. He ended up giving me like 16 points because of course I have Mixon, so I had to go after him. Got him, started him. He got me like 16 points in our league, half PPR.
Yeah, I think he's super valuable to Mixon owners in particular.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I'm just going to hold on to him for the rest of the year for case of a
I
handcuff.
mean, you're at I talk about this on my waiver show, but you're at the point where you want to pick up your studs handcuffs if you're making the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. So it was great. That really helped me out this week starting him. His average wasn't great, but going into the game, we kind of already knew the Titans defense is already the run defense is pretty solid.
mm-hmm.
So on the other is the guy handing him the ball, Joe Burrow, 270 yards, 1 reception. He also ran 9 times and 32 yards. What I wanted to really throw into this is that the announcers, okay, so he threw the ball to T. Higgins. T. Higgins got 9 targets, 7 receptions, 114 yards, and 1 touchdown. What the announcers saying was pretty great is that they were talking about it's almost like the Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, and Reggie Wayne. Peyton Manning being Burrow, Marvin Harrison being Jamar Chase, and Reggie Wayne being T. Higgins. The reason why they said that is because, Reggie Wayne is the number 2 until Marvin Harrison retired. Then he became the solid number 1, which they believe that T. Higgins could do the same thing too. With Chase gone, T. Higgins is a pretty good number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, and Chase is expected to come back versus Kansas City this next week with his hip injury. And then to piggyback on what you were talking about, Perine, I do want to say that Zach Taylor, the head coach for the Bengals, he was asked by a reporter being like, "Hey, Zach Perine's been doing great, so great. Do you want to keep Joe Mixon like fresh for the playoffs? And like, is it going to be like a full workhorse from going forward from this point on?" And Zach Taylor did not answer the question. He just kind of avoided everything. And Joe Mixon is in concussion protocol today, and I don't expect him to stay in concussion protocol for another week. But it's just like they're going to make the playoffs. They're looking for a championship, and I could see Perine maybe carving out like a 50%, 40% role going forward until they really get into the playoffs, and then just run Mixon into the ground.
Yeah, which could be kind of tough if people are still battling for playoffs. If you have Mixon, it's like, who are you going to start? You're going to start Mixon. You're going to start Perine.
Oh, totally. But I mean, you always start Mixon if he's starting, but like, I could just see maybe Mixon's. He had that huge game, and he's been getting all the rushes. I could see that maybe coming to an end until the playoffs start, the real playoffs, not fantasy playoffs. And then Hayden Hurst, I mean, we haven't talked about Hayden Hurst in a long time. He's still getting targets in this offense. So,
about Hayden Hurst, it's good to actually see this guy be pretty consistent through the whole year, because I remember when this guy got drafted out of South Carolina in the first round to the Baltimore Ravens, but he started his rookie season with a foot injury, right? And then the Ravens, they just like getting tight ends, and they got like Mark Andrews exploded, and they're like, oh, we don't need this guy anymore. So they let go of him. He went to Atlanta. Then Atlanta goes out and get Pitts. So then now he's a Bengal, and especially right now with Chase gone, he is, what did he get? 9 targets, 6 receptions, 57 yards.
Yeah.
In our league, that's around 8 points. And for tight ends, I would like that. I would like 8 points out of my tight end.
Yeah, and I don't really see that changing so much. I mean, he's getting all the Boyd targets and stuff like that. I mean, even when Chase comes back, I think I can still see that happening. Plus, they didn't want to throw the ball. I mean, he ended up throwing 37 times, but it's not like you kind of had to throw the ball against Tennessee. And then Jason for Tennessee, what'd you think about your boom bust player last week?
Austin Hooper. I mean, so when I did the boom bust, I kind of mentioned like I feel like he's going to do the boom, but I don't think this is going to be an every week option for Austin Hooper. I think it has to go more with like a script. Am I saying that right? Game script. Oh my god! I was like, you don't want to my transcripts.
What'd you get in English? Your sophomore year.
You don't want to know, man.
Jason. I had a petition to the damn principal to graduate on time.
I told him I had to I'll give him a shout out on this show if they just graduate me.
Half of
I
my
just
friends
graduated high school.
Hey man, half my friends barely graduated high school, and then some of them became teachers.
No, for real, huh?
So that's why I'm like, oh, you're a teacher, huh?
Yeah, he had 4 targets, 3 he only got 3 receptions for 30 yards. He did get another red zone target though. They just weren't able to complete on it.
Right.
But overall, I think the whole like I said in the beginning, the Bengals defense has improved since the beginning of the year, right? I mean, everybody on the Titans didn't really perform well. I mean, even Derrick Henry.
Dude, almost that huge touchdown, and then
Oh my gosh,
that's how Trey Burks. I was like, how did Trey Burks get this many points? This doesn't add up. And then I had to watch it on YouTube, and I was like, no,
right,
dude,
isn't
Derrick
that
Henry
crazy?
had an open touchdown, and that guy just went, boom.
Yeah, that would have been like 64, 69-yard touchdown reception. And the crazy thing is that's Treylon Burks' first touchdown in the NFL as a fumble recovery from
right?
Hunter Henry.
Like I really like the targets that Trey Burks getting though. Like he's literally getting all the deep targets. And when you watch
6.
Yeah, and he passes the eye test. And I was very encouraged. I know Tannehill didn't throw any touchdowns, but he almost threw for 300 yards, man, against a really good defense. And both sides, dude, which is impressive because I mean we were kind of worried about anyways. The Titans offensive line only allowed 1 sack, and Cincinnati's only offensive line only allowed 1 sack. So I think that's huge takeaways by how good the defenses are and that their offensive lines are holding up now.
Let's go back 10 weeks ago, and we would see Burrow getting sacked 5, 7 times a game.
I saw that. I was like, dude, how many sacks did Tennessee get against him? And I saw 1, and I was like, oh crap, dude. So yeah, he didn't he had a bad QBR, but I think that's a win for him, just to not get sacked. Because didn't they go against that was a playoff game last year? Remember that dude? It was like 9 or what was like 11 sacks or something. And they're like, dude, Joe Burrow's gonna die out here on the field, and they beat Tennessee.
They kind of did the Bengals a little dirty this year. In the playoffs last year, first they played the Titans, got off and left with a win, hard fought game, and then in the AFC Championship game they played the Chiefs, and then this year in the regular season they have them going against the Titans and the Chiefs back to back. So it's like 2 playoff rematches from last year. The Bengals had to get back to back because the Bengals.
I don't know why nobody talked about this. I mean, I was listening to all the radio shows today, and they didn't mention any of this. But
yeah, I mean, I guess it is what it is, right? I mean, obviously the Bengals played pretty well against the Chiefs. I think last year they even beat them twice or came close to beating them both times. Yeah. They beat them in the AFC Championship game, which is the most important game besides the Super Bowl. Yeah, this was more of a defensive game though. With the kickers getting a lot of points and stuff like that. Neither quarterback turned the ball over. I think the only turnover was when Derrick Henry fumbled on the 2-yard line. But other than that, they played well, but it was a defensive game. It was a defensive game.
Yeah. So going forward, if you're a Derrick Henry owner, you probably want to pick up Hilliard. I've been talking about this on my waiver show. It's time. He is like a P Ryan. He's actually serviceable backup.
Yeah.
And then Derrick Henry hopefully takes you to the promised land. He's still like doing really well. And Treylon Burks, man. I mean, on my waiver show, I think I say he's my top wide receiver ad still. Spend $25 on him. He only got 6 targets, but that still led the team. Right. And then the only other person you're really concerned about is Austin Hooper, and I'd still like maybe rolling the dice on Austin Hooper against matchup dependent stuff.
Yes, yeah, I actually think this would have been a game for him to actually do well because of how well the secondary for the the cornerbacks for who are they? The Bengals are playing, but it didn't end up that way.
Well, Jason, that's all I have to talk about in that game.
Me too. So, Jason, you want to go to the next game?
Yeah, I have it pulled up right here. The Saints got blanked by the San Francisco 49ers, man.
Oh my God, I want to talk about this game.
Your dad was probably just sitting there like this.
Yeah. My dad almost told me to change the channel. Yeah. Petting Bella.
He almost told you to change the channel?
Because of how frustrating this game was. We're going to talk about that because it still grinds my gears of what is being said about the San Francisco 49ers. So going into this game, I want to give you a little fun fact here too. Going into this game, it was pretty easy. Just want to see the battle of the total yards between Al Kamara and McCaffrey, right?
Right.
They both get a lot of rushing yard, or they both use in the rushing game and both use in the passing game. Check out this stat. All right. This is the 2017 draft running back class. All right. And I think cool. So that actually gives the order of when they got drafted, right? So Leonard Fournette went number 4, 41 total touchdowns. Number 8 was Christian McCaffrey, 53 total touchdowns. 41 was Dalvin Cook, 49 total touchdowns. Joe Mixon, 48. Or he went 48 and he had 49 total touchdowns. 67th draft pick, Alvin Kamara, 71 total touchdowns.
I drafted him that year.
Then 86 pick went to Kareem Hunt, has 48. 105
you had Kareem Hunt that year.
Yeah, I did. 105th pick, James Conner with 48. 182nd pick is Aaron Jones with 58 total touchdowns, and undrafted Austin Eckler with 56 total touchdowns. I'm like, holy crap, this class is insane.
And so next year's class is supposed to be pretty similar with the running backs coming out of college. That's why my plan is to draft Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. Oh God, my dog might die. And then all of rookie running backs. Holy crap!
Yeah, this is it was just a crazy stat. Alvin Kamara leading the way with 7-1 total touchdowns. The next closest one was Aaron Jones at 58 total touchdowns. But I also think Christian McCaffrey's total touchdowns 53. That could be higher, but I know
that's all injury. He hasn't played per game. I'm sure he's higher. But yeah, dude. Like, and then watching this game, I heard about it. Like Chris Long was talking about it. Did you see Alvin? The way the defense for San Francisco's playing right now, like Alvin Kamara would just get hit by he would just get crippled and fumbled like immediately, dude. He got 2 fumbles, 2 lost.
Yeah.
And like I love Alvin Kamara, but he's not doing 360s off of tackles like he used to, running to the house. Like he needs stuff set up for him.
There was a lot of Mark Ingram rushes in this game, and Alvin Kamara only had 7 rushes in this game for 13 yards, 2 lost fumbles, 1 at the goal line, 1 on the 1-yard line. But he did have 6 receptions for 37 yards on 7 targets. But then again, when the Saints get, a blank sheet, a goose egg, it's hard to put up for anyone to have any
even
points,
Chris Olave.
Really.
Chris Olave was looking good during the game. Like you'd think, oh man, that guy had a good game. And you look at the stats, 60 yards, So
yeah.
I don't really take anything from the. I mean, I think the Saints' offense is what it is. It's kind of like a middle of the pack offense, and you can only start certain people from them. Like you're always going to have Olave and Kamara, and I really like Juwan Johnson. He dropped a touchdown pass, dude. When I was watching it, hit his hands, just dropped it. He has oh man, I have the stats right here. I have this because I just did the waiver show before this, and Juwan Johnson is in it. But he has. Dear God, Jason, I'm so sorry, man. Say John. He's got 5 touchdowns in the last 7 games, and that's including that drop touchdown versus San Francisco. So I really like Juwan Johnson. I just think you have to throw this game out. And but Kamara salvaged his game with 7 targets, 6 catches. But San Francisco's offense is crazy. I'm thinking about sitting Tua versus them next week if Armstead isn't playing for their left tackle that just got injured with a pectoral muscle, whatever.
Yeah, you said their offense is crazy?
No,
their defense is crazy.
That's I'm taking more from this out of this game from San Francisco's defense than what I get from the offense of New Orleans.
Yeah, that Miami Niner game is going to be a good one.
I wish I saw man, but I'm just saying that Armstead, their great left tackle, he's probably not going to play. And Tua got sacked 4 out of the next 9 plays after that. And now they've got to go play the 49ers. So it just sucks. They need to be healthy for the 49ers.
I mean, there was no one on the Niners that really did great. I mean, if you just want to count Joanna,
So see,
Jennings.
I this guy was on my waiver show the first 2 weeks or the first couple of times because that was the only guy that was what's his name's favorite target, Trey Lance. Like he had great games the first 2 games. I mean, if you check it out, but he's nothing to be relied on.
Oh well,
But Debo Samuel got injured. I know that.
yeah. Well, he came back.
Okay.
He pl-
Same
he
with,
he finished the rest of the game. The Jennings touchdown was just one of the luckiest touchdowns you'll see, which it's not something I really want to see. I
I can
want
say
to
that's
see.
which is my middle name.
Oh, look, the luckiest. I'm
Which is I know it's terrible, Jason.
trying to make a point here. Uh, what was I saying? Oh,
I'm sorry.
I totally lost my train of thought. Um, okay, so what it is, no, it's great. That's how you win games. You get that luck. But I'm talking about like if I want to be convinced, I want to put him in the starting lineup. I want to see like actual touchdowns. I want to see like something that's not deflected by a defender, and then he's on his back, and it just like lands on it, and the ball lands into him. He was targeted 7 times though, which is good. He got that. He got like 4 of them on one drive. It was crazy. But Debo Samuels also got 4 or 7 targets. He did go out a little bit with an injury, but he was able to come back in. He only had 3 receptions for 43 yards. I think he got quite a few rushing yards too. That might have helped.
No, he didn't have any rush. He had 2 rushes for 0 yards. He had a lot of rushing yards last week, but
Really?
dude, he has not been what you drafted him to be. It's just, and it's not his fault. It's just, dude, they have so many weapons and they spread it around so much.
Well, I think they did a very poor job. They only scored 1 touchdown against that Saints defense. I mean, the defense was a little bit better for the Saints, but with all these weapons,
Latimore's still not there. Yeah.
you should be able to score more than just 13 points. But Elijah Mitchell, he had 7 rushes for 35 yards. He even had like a 20-yard touchdown that was called back because of a holding penalty. He had 2 receptions for 8 yards on 2 targets, but he left the game with a knee injury. Then come to find out about an hour ago that it's the other leg that he sprained, and now he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. So it's like
What?
yeah,
In my waiver show, crap. I'll admit this is what happens when you do your waiver show too early, Jason, because dude, it was just like, oh, it's an MCL sprain. Guess what? He's gonna be out for 2 weeks.
yeah.
So
I got a notification. Kyle Shanahan, see if I still have it.
so and then
I
so
don't still have it.
yeah, so he's got the MCL sprain probably or whatever. Maybe it's worse than they thought. And then Christian McCaffrey has tendonitis in his kneecap pretty much, and that's
Yeah,
going to be aggravated for him.
he left the game. He did come back, but then I think when they had the lead, they just handed the ball to Jordan Mason, who finished the game, who looked pretty good. He looked better than Christian
Yep.
McCaffrey,
He
but
was preseason hype train. He was on a lot of my stuff, and I always talk about Alfred Morris and some of these other undrafted free agent running backs that Shanahan loves to play.
yeah.
So he's my top running back pickup this week, dude. $30 I have on Jordan Mason, but that was only because Elijah Mitchell was going to be out for 2 weeks, I thought. So I'm gonna have to check that out. If that's 8 weeks,
Yep.
dude, I mean that means
I'm dropping him.
I'd spend $50 on Jordan Mason if I could. So
Yeah, they're just hoping to get him for the playoffs.
yeah.
One person I still do like is Brandon Ayuk,
Oh yeah,
because
he's been surprisingly good. So
8 targets. But if
better
you're
than
not a
Debo.
running back, your fantasy team with Ayuk, Jennings, Samuel, and Kettle are only going to go as far as Jimmy Garoppolo will take you.
Yeah,
Jimmy
they're
Garoppolo.
yeah, like
Go on, sorry.
Debo's ceiling, dude, is like not what it was. Because his ceiling with Jimmy Garoppolo was insane last year.
Yeah, well, he also had a lot of rushing touchdowns last year too, and I think he only has like 1 this year.
Well, I'm wondering if they're going to start running him again now that
Everyone's getting injured, but he has a bad hamstring too.
I know, dude. But they want Christian McCaffrey, like they want full strength Christian McCaffrey for the playoffs.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not like they started hot. They're 7-4 right now. Oh,
Hmm.
that's just a tough situation, dude. I mean, it's been tough for Christian McCaffrey owners anyways, and now
Yeah.
this, the
Elijah
first,
Mitchell.
yeah, hopefully you traded Christian McCaffrey after that trifecta, which why would you? But hey,
Yeah.
man, if you saw that coming,
Elijah Mitchell, I think I got him in like the 5th or 6th round, maybe in the 4th. I can't remember.
yeah, and it sucks for Elijah Mitchell, dude. I mean, I really like Elijah Mitchell, and he was looking a lot like more jacked this year. He looked great this year,
Got to do
but
more
yeah, dude,
squats.
it's just not happening. So, um, yeah. So going forward, you're probably going to be if that's true about Elijah Mitchell, you're dropping him and hoping to God you get Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
Jason,
One
how much
last thing.
time do you have to spend?
Huh? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I know I've got number one priority, so
I don't know if I want to get. I don't know if I want to get another running back from the Niners. All they do is get hurt.
dude, it's 49ers have gotten hurt every year for the last 10 years. So
They
I
need to
don't know.
hire a new like physical therapist.
Yeah, it's the sod. It's like all the rain, all the fog and the sod or something. I don't know.
One of the things I want to say that was really making me frustrated about watching this game is hearing what people were like, how much fear they have in the Niners and how well they are playing. No,
Their,
their
de-
defense is
their
playing
defense,
well.
yeah, their defense is amazing.
Their
So
offense is not playing well. And I think right now the for sure starter is the defense. I mean,
I
like
wish
I
I had
feel
the
like
defense. Yeah, they're like one of the few defenses that you can lock in and expect over 10 points every single week. So
yeah. I was getting a little frustrated hearing a lot of people say that. I was just like, did you not just watch the game? They only scored 1 touchdown against the state defense. Like
yeah, they're all saying, hey, they're going to the Super Bowl.
I yeah, I couldn't understand it. Like I said before, these wide receivers only gonna go as far as Jimmy takes them, which usually isn't really that far.
Yeah, no kidding. So yeah. So I mean, if you can get, I wouldn't worry about the Jennings, outbreak. 10 minutes, Jason. And it sucks, man. I mean, Kittle was just got 2 touchdowns last week. I was thinking maybe it was more of a breakout for him, and he just kind of goes right back to what he was doing.
Yep. I mean,
So
if you have Kittle, you're starting him either way. If you have Debo Samuel, you're starting him either way because he's probably your 2nd round pick. Which sucks because like I don't want to start him, but yeah. I
let me know
think
when you
Brandon
get.
Ayuk and like the as wide receiver 2 or flex is probably your best bet
Oh yeah.
right now. Right
Oh, I
now.
would like him as a wide receiver too. So,
Yeah.
uh, Jason, are you ready to talk about the Bakersfield boy?
Oh, damn. I was gonna throw a little stat and see if you knew. I'll do a little trivia.
Love and Hurts.
Love
Love
it. Oh, you
Hurts.
saw that picture, huh?
Oh, there was a picture.
Yeah, they had a picture where it was like love hurts. And
Love
like
Hurts.
right after they said, "What's up, man? I've been watching you for a long time." They turned around and walked away after the end of the game and
Oh,
took a
that's
picture.
awesome.
Uh yeah. So before we get into that, I wanted the Sunday night game. I want to see Aaron Jones against that Eagles run defense because they're trying to beef up that run defense. See if it worked. And then I want to see how the Eagles pass attack was going to do against the Packers secondary. And the funny thing is they didn't need to throw the ball at all. They set a new team record with like 353 yards rushing total, 363 yards rushing total from the
Yeah.
Eagles. So
So yeah, Miles Sanders, dude, it showed his stat. He has 8 touchdowns this year, 0 touchdowns last year on the same amount of touches. So
yeah, um, he had 21 carries,
hey, dude,
143 yards, two
Miles Sanders is
touchdowns.
a huge. I think he was a huge trade for me a while back, but
Yeah.
Pat wouldn't give him up, so I couldn't ever get him.
Um,
I really like him going forward. I mean, dude, if you're
yeah,
on, yeah, Philadelphia, and once they figured out how to, defend the pass, Jalen Hurts passes, they've just been running the crap out of it.
the good thing about Miles Sanders, like I always thought he was a talented running back, but he's always had injury problems. But this year he's healthy and he's playing on a good run behind a good offensive line,
Line,
and
yeah, their pass blocking and their run blocking is really good.
mhm. Yeah. So He's not going to get 2 touchdowns every game. There's going to be some games where they're going to need to like throw the ball, but
Oh yeah, but I think he's a wide receiver. I think he's a running back too on a championship team. Like,
oh yeah, yeah. Jalen Hurts only he threw the ball 28 times, but he only had 153 yards.
I
He
watched
got 2
that game.
touchdowns out of it.
Yeah, I mean, he was off a lot, and then you watch AJ Brown, a lot of misses to AJ Brown. I mean, it was only two right here looking at it, but it felt like a lot. Dude, AJ Brown lost 7 pounds this last week due to a stomach bug, and his eye was bloodshot from throwing up so much. Did you see his blood or his bloodshot eye?
No, I
So
didn't see it.
yeah, so he said it took until the second quarter until he started feeling right and all this stuff. So I just think it was a tough game for them in general, really, as far as like how
Yeah,
it's involved.
he had a fumble too,
Yeah,
AJ Brown.
dude. And the Eagles finished. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the Eagles finished the game with 363 rushing yards. Only 6 teams have rushed for more in a game since 1975. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
they set the team record for the Eagles.
Yeah. So I mean, and then Donovan Smith has been involved, Jason, what, for like a month now?
Yeah. Also, I just want to add one more thing to that is that Jalen Hurts, he had 157 yards rushing. He had 100 yards in the first half.
And
I want to say quarter. I think he got in the first quarter. He had like over 100 yards. He had 2 big runs.
and he is like he's built to do this. I don't like to see it, but I mean, if I was the Eagles, I would continue to do this. I don't think this is going to stop because they don't want Jalen Hurts to get hurt. Um, I mean,
Yeah,
he's a shorter, thicker guy, and
he got pretty beat up too.
yeah, I know.
Um, so what you were saying earlier was Smith. I even mentioned in a couple. I think it was against the Texans when they played on Thursday night. I was talking about how Smith could be like an all-time flex position, and then he just kind of did nothing.
Yeah,
Um, he, I mean, but a lot of the wide receiver, he had 4 receptions along with AJ Brown's 4 receptions. The only difference is AJ Brown had the touchdown. So, and now, I mean, we've done enough weeks now where I was talking all this crap saying he could be in that flex guy. I might find it kind of difficult to start him now.
yeah, and then you look at who's getting the touchdowns, like the Quez guy was God dang it,
Watkins,
Quez Watkins. I mean, he's only like averaging like two. He usually only gets like 2 targets a game, but he's got touchdowns in back-to-back games,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
looks good. When you were like, I'm always like, who is that guy? And it's Quez Watkins or whatever his name
I
is.
want I'm gonna have to pick him up. I got too
Yeah,
many people on by next
I
week.
was thinking about putting him on my waiver show, but it's just so hard to like put somebody that only he hasn't gotten like more than 2 targets other than this last
I
game.
know, I know it's tough,
I
but
value targets so much. It's just
I'm desperate. All right, you wanted to talk about the Baco boys? That's what
4 minutes, Jason. 4 minutes.
we gotta do this quick. Aaron Rodgers went out with a bleak or a rib or something
Yeah, I
like
mean
that.
he already had a messed up thumb.
So who is to replace him? But some guy named Jordan Love from Bakersfield, California.
The
You know what high school?
butthole of America. Centennial, right? Or Liberty? I can't remember.
Liberty. I'll give you that one. Liberty. He went to Utah State. And I'll tell you what, he looked pretty good. He only had a very limited 9 passes, but I don't know, just little daggers, man.
No, it's just like 3 steps, boom, 3 steps, boom, and then
Yep.
it was just weird because you watch Aaron Rodgers and it's like 3 steps, run to the left, run to the right.
Yeah.
This guy is just like he doesn't care. He just throws the ball. He's not looking for whatever it is. So I mean, yeah, he looked great, but that's 1% of what we've seen from him. Every time we've ever watched him, it's been like the worst quarterback of all time. So
Yeah.
it's encouraging because he's so young. He's like 23 or something. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, maybe he has changed. He has learned because those were some accurate balls, dude. I mean, there was one
Yeah.
ball that was slightly behind the dude, but that was it.
Yeah, he got it to Watson. Watson did the rest, right? Ended up scoring a 63-yard touchdown.
Yep. So Watson has reached 20 plus miles per hour on 12 plays from scrimmage this season, trailing only Tyreek Hill, who has 18. And Christian Watson has more reception touchdowns this season than Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, and he's leading the NFC North in touchdowns, receiving touchdowns.
Combined.
No, I
No,
wish.
I'm just
I did
kidding.
say-
No,
I know. I
well,
almost
that'd
said
be crazy.
combined. But I want
They
to leave
always
it with you, Jason.
combined. Huh?
The rest is you.
Oh, okay. I just want to go because I wanted to talk about that rushing game. AJ Dillon was the better back. He had a higher average. He only got the ball 8 times, but he got the touchdown. Aaron Jones, he only had 43 yards on 12 attempts. But Aaron Jones was in the passing game. He had 4 targets. He had 3 receptions for 56 yards and a touchdown, which kind of helped him out. Randall Cobb got that 1 touchdown. That was like
Yeah.
old school Rogers Cobb connection, but don't live off of that hype.
Mhm.
Other than that, he only had 2 receptions out of 4 targets. So it's not looking too good for the Packers. I'm pretty sure they are done. You know, especially if Aaron Rodgers is out. He what are they, like 4-8 now or something like that? They
Yeah, they're
are
4-8, and so you'd think that they're going to leave Love in and see what they have in them.
right. This will be the
But
time.
they already paid Aaron Rodgers for. I mean, it's all guaranteed. So I mean, it's not like that. They might have to trade Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he won it out last year. Maybe it's like, you know what? I think we're gonna let's. I'll agree. Yeah, let's get you out of there. Let's get Love in. Let's get this Baco boy in. You know what I'm saying?
We're from. By the
Let's
way,
get
we're from Bakersfield. That's why we talk so much crap about Bakersfield. We're never going back.
93308. The
Oh,
08ers.
Jason, you have less than a minute. You have about 50 seconds.
I think that's pretty much it. It wasn't really a whole lot to talk about on the Packer side of the game. They just looked horrible, but Christian Watson scored again. He's got what, like 6 touchdowns last like 3 games or something like that. They got to get that ball to him in open space, and he's going to outrun everybody. So
And people are asking if Lazard is droppable, and I keep on saying that. Man, I wish I had Lazard, so don't drop
right,
him. Hold him, see what happens with this, or try to trade him, dude. Because there's people like me out there with Cortland Sutton and Michael Pittman and Gabe Davis. You know, there's some stuff going on around here. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching this show. Again, you guys are what keeps us going. We're gonna keep on doing this anyways, but you make us feel so good. Thank you for all the interaction. And coming out with Waiver Show tomorrow. After that, we will be drinking, I think.